Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Hammond Collection review. Today we're going to take a look at the new Triceratops. Wave 2 of the Hammond Collection is finally upon us in full force. We already have the Gallimimus, Alan Grant, and the Hammond Collection Rex. Now we have the Triceratops. The only other one we're waiting on is the Ceratosaurus. I'm sure that one will be shipping really soon. I ended up getting this figure from Mattel Creations. It retails for $19.99. It actually shipped a little bit earlier than I thought. I think the projected release date was supposed to be before July 29th, but they started shipping early, so I cannot complain about that. You can also pre-order this figure on Target site, Big Bag Toy Store, and I believe Amazon also, and I'm sure it's a matter of time before these figures actually start showing up on Target's shelf, but I'll leave a link down below to Target's website if you want to pre-order this Triceratops. Now let's just go over the package really quick before we crack this figure open. Like I said with the Hammond Collection T-Rex review, just not a fan of this package, and it hides too much of the figure. But at least on the Triceratops, you can actually see the whole head. You can't really see much of the body, and like I said earlier, I really don't trust Mattel with their paint app applications. They've burned me plenty of times with online pre-orders with misprinted eyes and stuff. But like I said, hopefully they redesign it for the next round of Hammond Collection figures. You got the T-Rex silhouette right here, Hammond Collection logo, and there's the Triceratops on the front. Here's a picture of the figure on the side of the box with the Jurassic Park logo. Back of the box, we get a nice picture of the Triceratops figure, and then we have a clip from the famous scene from the movie Having Fallen Ill from eating West Indian lilac. The Triceratops, Dr. Alan Grant's favorite childhood dinosaur, makes an enormous mark on the Jurassic Park tour. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And just like all the Hammond Collection dinosaurs so far, you just have to attach the tail. You just need to line up this notch on the tail right here with the notch inside the body. You're going to hear it click into place. It is a one-time assembly. Once you do that, the tail is not coming out. And now let's start with a nice 360-degree view of the Hammond Collection trike. First off, the pros. It's a very accurate movie sculpt. This whole figure is decked out in beautiful scale detail from head to toe. Features a nice accurate paint job. Yes, the Jurassic Park Triceratops was not the most colorful, creature in the film. It's just mostly brown, and that's about it. And Mattel nailed all that brown. There is some nice light dry brushing of light brown all over the frill and the top of the back and sides of the body to bring out all that lovely scale detail. And don't worry, we will get to the pig issue with this figure a little bit later on. I've come to terms with it. If you watched all my other, Mattel Jurassic World trike reviews, I've always bitched and moaned about how small it was. I've come to terms that the Jurassic Park Triceratops was not a fully grown animal, especially when you look at the sequence of how the human figures scale with it. So I'm okay with this figure being that size since it's based off that particular animal. Now, somewhere down the line, if Mattel decided to do a Lost World or Jurassic World trike, it better be bigger than this, because then the bitching and moaning will continue from me. But other than that, I think it's a nice figure. Definitely worth the $20. And now for some quick measurements. This figure is about 11.5 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the beak, or about 29 centimeters, and just under 5 inches tall to the top of the frill, or just about 12.7 centimeters. So Triceratops in real life was a very big animal, up to 30 feet long, or just over 9 meters. So with those measurements, that put this figure in the 1/30 scale range. But like I said, this is based off the Jurassic Park trike, which appears to not be full grown, so I'm okay with the scale difference on this figure. And now let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with this beautiful head sculpt. Very accurate to how the Triceratops looked in Jurassic Park. This whole thing is just decked out in absolute beautiful scale detail from head to toe. Just check out all the scale variations on the frill. You have a nice light dry brushing of brown to highlight all those scales. The brow horns are nicely done. You got some nice cracks in them. Has a nice wash to bring out all those details. Same thing with the nose horn, and the beak is also very nicely painted. The eye is painted orange with a black pupil. Seeing the eye on this really makes me wish the Hammond Collection T-Rex did not come with that glass eye. I know Mattel wanted to try and make it look all premium, but I would much prefer a painted eye. It just looks dead inside. But yeah, other than that, you get some more of that dry brushing around the nostril. Nostril is nicely sculpted. And then looking inside the mouth.
Wanda, it's a Triceratops. Destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
And this is the main problem I have with this figure. No mouth articulation, which is basically inexcusable. The Hammond Collection is meant to be, highly articulated, and the most basic articulation we want to see on our dinosaur figures is mouth articulation. It just blows my mind that they did not do it on this figure. You can see the seam. The head is two separate pieces. No idea why they didn't just add like a hinge right here just to open up the mouth. P&SO has been doing with the later ceratopsian figures, Beast of the Mesozoic, set the high standard for ceratopsian figures with that whole line. And just this thing not having mouth articulation is a damn shame, and that's what really, really brings this figure down for me. There's no reason for it not to have it, and it's just really brings the figure down for me. I know a lot of people weren't happy about it, and I am just not happy about it. It just really, really pisses me off. So anyways, enough about the mouth. Going on the underside, you can see more scale detail underneath the lower jaw. The underside of the belly is painted a nice tan color. And then going back to the frill, you can see all the knobs on the side of the frill are nicely detailed and painted. You get some nice detail on the back of the frill. Then looking at the back, all those large osteoderms and large scales have a nice dry brush and a light brown paint to make all those details pop. Going down to the front legs, you got those, typical elephant-looking feet on the Triceratops. That's how it appeared in the movie, so it is movie accurate. You get some more large osteoderms on the arms. You get a little bit of light gray paint to highlight more details. Some more osteoderms going down the forearm, and the toe claws all have this nice dry brushing of light brown. Same thing with the hind claws on the hind feet. Going down to the body, some more beautiful scale detail. Going down to the thighs, some more large osteotherms on the thighs, some more scale detail, some nice folds and wrinkles. And then going down to the tail, you got some more wrinkles at the back of the thigh. And on the tail, you got a nice proportionate looking tail. So all in all, this is the only blemish I've seen on this figure. Can easily get some nail polish remover and remove that. This looks like the paint machine went a little crazy painting this figure. But all in all, it's a decent figure. I just feel like it's definitely the weakest of the Hammond Collection, and just that no mouth articulation really holds this figure back. Now moving on to articulation. Don't need to talk about the mouth for the neck joint. It can look up that far and it can look down a little bit. Looking at it from the front, you do get some side to side movement. Going down to the front legs, they can move forwards that far before they start hitting the base of the neck, and they can move back that far before they hit the sides of the body. So the articulation on the front legs, same thing with the back legs. They only can move back that far and forwards just a little bit because the way the belly sticks out. So really hampers the poses you can get this figure in, which is a shame. For the elbow, you can straighten out the legs. You can get about that much bend. And then for the wrist, you can move up the wrist about that far and about that far down. Really, really tight joints on the ankles and wrists of this figure, which I am okay with because I don't like loose joints in my figures. And then going down to the hind legs, you can get about that much bend at the knee. And then for the ankle, you can get about that much far back movement and about that much forward movement. And they also, both joints can rotate. Going down to the tail, you can get some downwards and upwards movement, some side to side movement. You have another joint right here, more side to side and up and down. This part is soft rubber. I can't tell if there's a bendable wire in there. It's such a short piece, and if it did, you're really not going to get much movement on it. So yeah, the articulation on this figure is serviceable, but is not as good as is on the other Hammond Collection dinosaurs. Just the way the body is sculpted really holds back all the poses this figure can pull off. Moving on with comparison, first up, here it is with the Hammond Collection Grant figure, and you can see how small the Triceratops is next to him. But I had to use Grant because he even said it in the film. It was his favorite dinosaur growing up. And next up here is the old Rorvor Triceratops. I did quite like this figure when it first came out. I just got really sick of the 50 repaints and retools that Mattel did of this mold. That poor mold has been banged more than a ditto in daycare, but yeah, you can see they're pretty much similar in size, even though this is based off the Jurassic World trike. So like I said, if Mattel ever decides to tackle Lost World or Jurassic World trike, it needs to be a lot bigger, and because it just can't be this small. I've accepted it for this one particular trike. I won't accept it for the rest. And just to really hammer home how big Triceratops really was, here is the Beast of the Mesozoic adult Triceratops. This is 1/18 scale, which is what the Hammond Collection is supposed to be. You could just see what an absolute beast of a figure this is. Now these figures are in a totally different league compared to the Hammond Collection. This is a $20 figure, and this is a $140 figure. And next up, here it is with the Hammond Collection T-Rex, and this Triceratops wouldn't last 5 seconds against Rexy. Just one bite and this little dude would be toast. So yeah, you know, it would be nice if we saw Rexy square off against a Triceratops. You know, the way Jurassic World depicted her, she would probably just need like a few assists just to make it through that battle. But at least we get to see Rexy and a trike face off in the Telltale's Jurassic Park game, and they actually gave us a proper sized trike in that game. And lastly, let's end on a nice group shot of all the current Hammond Collection figures. The only one that we're missing that's been revealed is the Ceratosaurus, but I'm sure that figure will be out very shortly. And let's just take a moment to appreciate this. In a couple short months, the Hammond Collection feels like a complete package. That's something the Amber Collection couldn't do in its almost 3-year lifespan. We're never ever going to see the variety that we see right now in the Hammond Collection. And it's so refreshing that we're this far, you know, it has been a long run, and we're this far into it, and we haven't had one repaint yet, and that is just fine by me. I hope they just keep cranking out all the dinosaurs that appeared in the movie, because like I said, I'm gonna be buying a lot less of the main line going forward, because this line is just so spectacular. So final thoughts on the Hammond Collection Triceratops. Personally, I feel like it's the weakest figure so far in the line. Just the lack of mouth articulation is basically inexcusable for a line that is supposed to be highly articulated. Just the way the body's sculpted really hampers how the front and back legs can move. I guess I'm kind of spoiled from, you know, Beast of the Mesozoic's tooling on their Ceratopsians. I expect a little bit more range of movement on this figure, but the pros, it's a movie accurate sculpt and paint job. You know, it's to scale of how it appeared in Jurassic Park. You can see, you know, Alan looks just like how he was in that scene we just listened to the breathing of the Triceratops. So yeah, it's a good figure for $20, just not my favorite out of the Hammond Collection. Now, like I said at the beginning of the review, I ended up getting my figure from Mattel Creations. It's currently sold out on there, but I'm sure they'll be getting more in stock, so I'll leave a link to them down below in the description, and I'll also leave the link to Target. I'm sure these figures will be showing up very soon on store shelves. I've heard a lot of people say that they're finding the Hammond Collection already on clearance at their Targets. That means they are making room for the new figures to come in. So that will do it for the review. I still have a few more new Jurassic World Dominion figures to review, so stay tuned for those in the upcoming days. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.